Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. It's something a little bit different, not real estate related, but I am here with two amazing businesswomen. We have Joyce and Suzanne McLay from the Beach Cheer Athletics. Hi, guys.
Hi, it's so nice to be here with you today.
Thanks. Wanted to talk about, again, something totally different than real estate, but one of the things that's really important on everyone's mind right now is how to keep kids active and healthy. I don't know about you, but I've seen 1,000,001 articles and videos and different things about how to keep adults healthy, and that's awesome. We're all trying to follow that. But I haven't seen a lot about how to keep kids healthy and active, especially like a lot of us, we've got really active kids usually, and now all of a sudden they're stuck in a house or in a condo with no yard. And so anyway, something I thought maybe we could talk about today, you could give us some advice. So just tell us a little bit about your amazing cheer gym, first of all, because I think that's really important for people to know what you do.
Okay, I'll go. So we are cheerleading, mainly all-star cheerleading and tumbling facility in Toronto. So what we specialize in is competitive cheerleading as well as recreational tumbling, gymnastics, and ninja. So a lot of the things that we do is transferable to things that you can do at home to keep your kids busy. But our main focus is doing the sport. We focus on, but our gym is focused on family. It's focused on building life skills and character traits through our sport or our programming that you can bring into your life as you grow or even right now.
Yeah. And you have a ton of kids there now, right? How many active participants do you have at the gym?
Go ahead, Suzanne.
We have about 250 in our competitive program and another 200 in our recreational program.
Amazing.
Lots of kids, keep them busy. And both Amory and I are moms. Between the two of us, we have 5 kids. I have 2 kids that are ages 5 and 8, and hers, I believe, are 11, 13, and 15.
Yes.
So we span ages 5 through 15 right now. So I feel like we have it all.
That's why I wanted to chat with you, because I thought, talk about perfect representation. You've got in your personal life and professional life, kind of what you do. And so, in an effort to kind of help people through this time, whatever we can do to get them through it, right?
Yeah. We deal with a lot of kids, that's for sure. And
yeah.
Currently.
Yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit, and if there's anything that you feel like you can share with everybody here about what are some good tips to keep kids active and busy and healthy.
I have a lot of the younger ideas right now because I'm dealing with some of the younger kids, but I find with my kids, some kids are very competitive and they really thrive if you make it a competition. So sometimes it's who can run the fastest, even if it's in the backyard, who can do the most of this, who can jump the highest. We even a competition, who can stand on your foot the longest and touch the ground and do this. So it's keeping them busy physically. And that's what some of those kids thrive on, is being fast. And especially my 5-year-old always wants to beat my 8-year-old, so that's the ultimate prize in our house right now.
I saw a really great tip with kids with really little kids that I don't have right now, but I sent to my cousins and that have small children. And this family lived in a condo. So anyone can do this. This is available especially to our families in smaller places in Toronto. Is they made an obstacle course in their home. So they use painter's tape to tape it out on the floor with little arrows, up onto the chair, up over the couch, all of those kinds of things. And I thought that was amazing. And you set the timer and you keep timing them and then see how much faster they can do it over and over and over again.
Sounds like ultimate home ninja.
That's an amazing idea, actually.
In and out of the tub, climb into the tub, climb out of the tub. We'll go under the chair, go over the chair. It was amazing. I would have totally done that with my kids when they were little. They're too big now. They wreck everything, but
destroy the house. I love that idea, though. I think building competition into keeping them healthy is a really good idea, because people don't necessarily think about that.
No, and every kid Yeah, every kid is motivated differently. Some kids are more competitive, others just like a unique challenge. Like a game we play at the gym that could definitely be brought home as well is rolling the dice and making a list of 1 through 6 or 1 through 12 of different activity every time you roll the dice. And the family can do that, and that's really fun. And you roll the dice, and you have to do 3 push-ups, and then dad rolls the dice and he has to do 5 jumping jacks. But then you can make it like you have to run and touch your bed or something. So you're sitting around, you're still being a little physical, but they're having fun with it. So you can even, another way you can do that is with the alphabet. So take the alphabet and assign an activity to each letter of the alphabet and spell something, or get them to do the activity and figure out what they're spelling. So
spell your name with the alphabet.
Yeah, spell your name with the alphabet.
Your teacher's name, your best friend's name, like you can pick your dog's name, all the names.
Right.
Yeah,
great idea. What should they be aiming for, like kids right now, in terms of the amount of exercise or activity they should be getting every day? Like, I know it's different than normal circumstances. Like what kind of can we hope for right now?
I think we should be thinking about normal, if not more, exercise in this moment, because we're inside a lot. You're taking away a lot of their commuting exercise that you would normally get, either walking to school or walking around school or back and forth, anything like that. So you want to try to work in as much as you can. A lot of kids, if they're not super active by nature, may not be able to do an hour or 2 hours all at once. So you may have to think about 4 or 5 times during the day, 15, 20 minutes a day, at a time, to be able to get that. I think you need at least an hour of physical activity a day.
The daily recommendation is an hour, and I can't see that changing, but it's just finding different ways. So my son really needs to burn off a little energy. So even before we start some schoolwork, we go for a family run for 10, 15 minutes, like in a line, and they think it's funny. We're being ducks. So to get out safely, I mean, obviously you need to check on what are the recommendations. I feel like there could be announcements any minute saying, don't go for a run through your neighborhood. So just wherever we are in the state of this, even burning off energy before you want them to do a little schoolwork, or treating it like recess. Let's have 20 minutes out in the backyard. Let's lunchtime. We need a break, and we need to break up their activities. And I think it's good for us right now too. I think we need
that is a great idea, because I was thinking about that too, because we talk about screen time. Well, all of a sudden, all anybody has
is screen time. Yeah.
My son's older, but
same. But I think
they're stuck in front of a computer for like 8 hours a day. So what should we be doing? Like, is it every 40 minutes, 45 minutes? Like, what do you recommend?
Teenagers, I think it's going to have different, it has, for me, I know for my kids, it has different impact in terms of how you can get them to do the things. Definitely think you have to force the issue. I don't think a lot of them, unless they really aren't self-motivated, are going to do it on their own. So it's going to have to be something that you force. I know for me, I assigned them it as part of their day. For each one is different, but I started doing the 100 rule this week, and that's worked okay. So if you're doing 100 of this and you're doing 100 of that, we have a trampoline. So yeah, you either do 100 jumps here, and then you switch places and you're doing 100 basketball shots, and then you're doing 100 hockey puck shots, anything like that, because you're going to have to force the movement that they might not necessarily want to do.
Right.
I think it's unrealistic to think that they're going to do it on the same quick burst schedule that the little kids are going to do that. So you have to modify that based on the age and the cooperativeness of your older children, because you can't fight about everything, but you do have to make sure they understand this is an important part too.
Yeah.
We're actually scheduling Zoom meetings with all of our teams. So we force that. Our parents are very appreciative and happy that not only do they get to connect with their teams, that they actually get a good workout in for that hour that we're connecting during the week, and offering virtual online workouts for our members as well. So they love that. I think that's something that our teens could do. My daughter has, with her friends, done ab workouts. Like they've booked a FaceTime or Zoom meeting, and they've done their workout together.
I think Amory had to do a quick mute there. And maybe on the younger side of the Zoom calls, what about a Zoom dance party with the young kids and their friends? So at least they're socializing, and I know sometimes parents are ready to join in at this point too. So keeping it fun.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I think a lot of what I've seen too of these online organizations that have everything that can do for adults, like I guess sometimes the kids can join in on those. I saw yesterday the YMCA has launched some sort of online program, for example. I don't know if it's on an app or you have to go online or what it is, but gives, I guess, families an opportunity to exercise together. And the interesting thing is, I think from an adult perspective, which we're not really talking about, but from an adult perspective, it seems like a lot of people I know who don't normally exercise are trying to make an effort to do it, which is
suddenly very motivated.
More motivated to bake. I'm not thinking I'm going the wrong direction personally.
I think if you're used to being in a gym with that community feeling and then not doing it, just doesn't feel the same. Like, I think that's part of it for those people. So maybe if you found someone, like even as a teenager, I do think that's important for our kids that are used to being with a team to do it together. Still do it together by yourself. I think that's important.
I think that's a really good point, because we all have kids that are part of that competitive environment all the time, and you're used to that, and then all of a sudden you're kind of left on your own to just figure it out. I mean, my son's a swimmer. His swim team luckily has prepared online workouts for them every day, which is great. But before they were doing that and left to his own devices, it was very much, I don't know what to do. I guess I can.
And they're used to that direction and support from both their teammates and their coaches. So that is a hard one to navigate. So if you're looking at your child, I really think you have to think about what their needs are, what they're used to before, and try to mimic what you can in that, and then introduce something new to make it exciting and fun. So like Suzanne was saying, definitely the competitive side, making games of things, and really looking for something interesting to do.
Even another one I thought of was have a night where if you have a family that kids have different talents or abilities, they share that craft. So today, Will is going to teach everyone how to do a soccer clinic. And the next day, my daughter taught my husband a cheer dance. Right. So it's a good family entertainment. Maybe we'll appreciate each other on our things that we're doing and how hard they are. And it's it's fun, but it's moving still.
Yeah. Those are some great ideas for sure. I think it's really trying to get creative, I think. Just expecting to run up and down the driveway probably just won't cut it for long, right?
I think
the first week, but
we're gonna have to be a little more creative than that if this goes on for the weeks that they're anticipating it's going to, because that physical activity is linked to mental health and well-being, and our kids are going to suffer a lot without the social side of it. So we really have to be mindful of that. I know people are really concerned, myself included, with the educational aspect right now of what's going to come with the rollout next week from our TDSB, if you're in the TDSB public school system. And that's been their focus, but I really think we have to be mindful of both protecting the mental health of our kids, and a lot of that when they're little or even teenagers is driven through being physical and having that physical outlet and physical health.
Yeah, wow, such a something I hadn't really thought about, but you're right. And I think not just from a physical standpoint, obviously we know that helps us feel better mentally, but the social and physical piece, I mean, if you can combine those two things together, that would be amazing.
I think that's important. I know for us, we've done our competitive team practices, but it's one thing Suzanne and I have been going back and forth on what we do going forward. If this is going to be months, we're starting a virtual online program that it would be just like this call, a Zoom meeting where all the kids are sort of in the same space so we can work out together with our program. And I think that's really important to have not only an appointment to go to, right? Like we all know we show up when you have to get up and dress up and show up, you're going to perform better, or at least put a little more effort in maybe than say, oh, I'll do it later, and later never happens. Yeah. We know that as an adult. And so this is an opportunity for our kids to have that schedule and for them to be able to get up, dress up, and show up anyway. Even though we're not in the same room, we're all still together. And I think that finding that space, maybe it's even you schedule it if your kids are small, like say Suzanne's daughter's 5 and she has 5 friends that love to hang out together, and the parents pick, Suzanne was talking about one of those online YouTube videos that the teachers use sometimes for DPA. It's like a Go Doodle or what's it
Noodle
called?
or something.
Noodle. It's
Yeah.
something for DPA. There's lots of those tools
Videos.
you can use that you could play. You could play together in that realm too. So if you're someone that's not part of a gym or not interested or able to join a virtual program right now for children, that's something that you can organize with their peer group, and make sure that they still have that connection, because they're going to benefit from it physically, obviously. Any kind of movement or exercise, you're going to have some physical benefit, but you're also going to have that social connection, which we as a human species thrives on. Yeah. Like that is part of our genetic makeup, and that is part of who we are as a species, and we need it, and that can't be understated. And we have no idea how this is going to affect our small children long term, from a social perspective, being taken from their peer group. So I think it's important to try to do whatever we can in this moment to protect them.
Yeah, I think these are such great points. It's funny, like, when you're isolated away from little kids like I am, having a teenager, you have such a different perspective, but you're right. They isolate anyway. That's what they do.
I feel like it's not super different for them, except they want to see their friends at school. But like they still have, Suzanne and I just had this conversation earlier so I have 11-year-old who is not into this yet. And my 13-year-old just since this started has developed into this teenage trait. Basically all they do is talk to each other anyway, right? Like basically that's what they do. Right. So they're not playing, they're not finding their social construct from playing together anymore. It's really a conversation face to face or on the phone. Like when we were on the phone, now they're probably FaceTiming and texting. But a lot of that can be met. A lot of those social needs can be met in this era of technology for our teenagers. Yeah. For our younger kids, they still need to connect through play and to connect socially in that with that physical realm, because they just don't. Like Suzanne had an example, her kids were, you can tell them, were using the Messenger.
They discovered, and this is only because we were in a pandemic, Facebook Messenger for kids. And it's connected through parents' accounts, and it allows you to approve who they can talk to. You control everything. It lasted for messenger. Yeah, it's a safe messenger for kids. And it lasted for about 3 days that they were interested in talking to their friends. Then it fizzled out really quick. And I think it's just, they don't get that same
talk to each other ever.
Yeah, they don't. They show each other their bedroom and then they hang up on each other, or they take a funny picture and they hang up, and they don't know how to say hi, how are you doing, and those kind of things. I was trying to encourage that talk, but they don't know how to do that yet. And I realized that's not really a thing for them.
But that's why this would be such a great, like what you're saying about different meetups for activity or dance parties.
Mm-hmm. We're out in your backyard, we're on our pogo stick, or we're skipping rope together. We're all skipping rope together, and you're like, how long can you skip for? Everybody's I'm going to say I'm the mom in this scenario, and everyone has a skipping rope, or pretending to skip because you don't actually need the rope. And we're all going to do this for 2 minutes. Who can do this for 2 minutes? And now, we got a hula hoop. We're all going to jump in and out of your hula hoop, or whatever it is. Like, you can make a little circuit, and if the kids are doing it together, they're going to have more fun. And then they will talk to each other a little bit during or afterwards. Like, they will have something a little bit to talk to.
I think the younger need that physical connection at the same time, that they can't just get it over social media right now. So to keep socializing.
Yeah. Those are some great ideas. So let me ask you, if people were interested in joining beach cheer athletics right now, could you offer some sort of online programming for them or something like that to join in on the group that way? Is that something that can happen?
We're rolling that out for April 15th as a trial, like the second week in April. I'm not sure if that's actually the 15th, but we'll have that up on our website hopefully early next week. Right now we're just offering our clients our Zoom practices, but we are going to be doing a virtual physical membership where you can go to a live class, Or we're hoping to have some recorded options too that you could do on your own schedule. But
yeah, that would be great. Such great ideas to give parents out there right now. I think people are already pulling their hair out. And when I heard yesterday it might go on until July, I thought, oh no, they'll never survive it, right?
I know it's a lot, and you really have to think about how much they're used to moving, because at DPA they have, they're really in 40-minute increments, like in terms of their day when they're younger. So they're 40 minutes and the teacher like lets them roam all around and do whatever, or it's DPA for the 15-20 minutes, and then it's recess, and then it's lunchtime, and then it's really not, kids are not meant to sit for those 6, 7, 8 hours a day like when they're younger. They're really meant to get in and out and up and down. So you have to think about that. And I get it. Like, it is hard to do that if you're working from home. Hard to do that if you have two partners that are doing that together. I understand that this is not
an ideal scenario, that's for sure.
No.
any easy task at all. We understand that is not something that is something that we any of us want to do. I have no interest in being a homeschooling parent. Like, I never have, and I certainly don't now. But I know that right now that is a necessity, and I'm trying to think of ways that I'm going to minimize the long-term effects of for my kids not being as physically active and as well away from their friends as much as I can, without actually them seeing their friends in person. It's a tricky schedule, and trying to get some work done and cooking and cleaning all day.
We're going to run a business, right? I mean, that's,
do all the things.
Somehow we will get through this, and we'll be better for it. People keep saying.
I do think I'm going to just, I'll have my little 2 cents here. I do think that as teenagers, it's hardest on them. I know I'm sort of biased in a way. I know we said that they don't mind so much, but I do think being away from their peer group is going to be hardest on them in a way. But I do think our children are going to grow up knowing that this is a possibility that can happen in their life. Like, all of us, our age group was like, that would never happen. Like, no way. Like, there's no way that they'll shut down this. Guilty as charged, for sure.
Yes.
So I think that they're going to have some perspective that we didn't grow up with, and they're going to have something. So if in the future this happens, or if they're using it as something else, then they're going to know that they can get through something hard, right? That our kids, I know my kids haven't really had to get through a whole lot of hard things. They're not farming. They're not doing all, like, they're not toiling any fields, right? Even if I get them to vacuum their room, like, that's pretty much the extent of our hard, right? So there is growth from things, doing something that's hard. And they're going to understand at the end of this that they could, that they did something hard and they came out of it.
I think they're also going to have a new appreciation when they come out of it for the things that they love to do and that they get to do again, because right now they're missing them. And those are things they didn't think would get taken away from them. So we've actually pointed out to a couple of the age groups that they are lucky in one aspect that this is happening now, because when we were kids, there was no internet. So all these face-to-face and Zoom team practices we've been having that we've been able to connect, they wouldn't have had that. We wouldn't have had that opportunity as kids. So they have some extra tools to work with right now. So a lot of them did appreciate that and understood. They were glad to have the internet.
And we went through with them and asked them what they were grateful for, because I think in this time you have to know, like, when you feel like you've lost so much and part of your life is gone, it's important to remember what you are grateful for. Yeah. And that who you're grateful for and what's really important. And I think that perspective is the disconnect between generations. Like, the younger generation can't have perspective. It's not, like, it's unrealistic for us to expect them to. They don't have the experience to put that perspective into play. They don't. Every decade you pass in your life gives you perspective on the last one. So if, you only have 15 years to reflect on, it's not very long. Yeah. So I think them gaining some perspective in what it means is really important. And I think they are going to benefit from it in the long term. I really do. But it's hard to get through. It's one of those things. We'll get to that stage at some point where we're all like, oh yeah, we are.
Yeah, we will be grateful someday.
I'm not there yet. I'm just telling you. All of The Walking Dead, and I was not prepared for the talk at all. I thought I was. I'm not. Yeah. It's important to honor that, though. And I've talked to my kids when I've struggled with my oldest with the friends being away from her peers, because girls, I think,
certainly rally around their girlfriends a little bit more, maybe more than the boys do, about feelings. And it's okay to be mad and angry and really honor that. Like, it's okay to be sad. Like, it's okay to have that moment. Let it happen. Don't yell.
Let them,
Please don't yell at me about it, because we're all sad. However, you can't blame it. It's no one's fault, but it is important to honor that and be honest about it with your kids. I would do that. I would do that with all of your children, no matter what age, to be honest about their feelings and making sure that, you know, they could say, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go out and play that day. And you'd be like, honey, I get it that you're frustrated and this is not what you want to be doing today, but this is what we are doing today. And I, as your mom or your dad, whoever is talking to you, know that, and I need you to get out there, and I promise you'll feel better, and we're going to do something fun together. But I think it's important to have that conversation with your children, for sure.
For sure. Well, listen, ladies, I won't take up any more of your time. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank
you for having us.
I'm going to make sure everyone has your contact information in the post, so that if they want to get in touch, they know you're to do that. I think you are the perfect people to talk to about how to keep kids busy and active right now. So thank you so much.
Thanks. Love talking to you, as always.